The Sunday Times is reporting that Saudi Arabia is seeking to acquire off-the-shelf nuclear weapons from Pakistan, risking an arms race in the Middle East. They say, quote, the move by the Gulf Kingdom, which has financed much of Islamabad's nuclear program over the past 3 decades, comes amid growing anger among Sunni Arab states over the Iran peace deal. There are concerns that Saudi Arabia joining the nuclear club might provoke Turkey and Egypt to follow suit. Yeah, this is fucking horrifying. I find it so amazing that the media in America can harp away on the non-existent Iran nukes. But then when there's a story about how, no, we know now that Saudi Arabia is just going to grab some nukes from Pakistan and say, thanks, guys, we appreciate it. There's no coverage in the mainstream media. No coverage whatsoever in the mainstream media. Dude, not only is this a big deal, it's a much bigger deal than if Iran had nuclear weapons. I got news for everybody out there who doesn't follow geopolitics very closely. As far as fundamentalism goes, yes, you can say Iran is fundamentalist, and you can say Saudi Arabia is fundamentalist. You know who's more extreme in their fundamentalism? Saudi Arabia by a country mile. And also, let's not forget, there are many people in the Saudi government who financed or helped finance al-qaeda and who are currently helping to finance ISIS. So, you know, if you're going to be concerned about anybody in the world getting nukes, the number one country you should be concerned about is Saudi Arabia. But since Saudi Arabia is our oil butt buddy, we basically say, yeah, guys, do whatever you want. We don't give a shit as long as you keep giving us that sweet, sweet oil. I mean, this shows the unholy alliance between America and Saudi Arabia. And by the way, I don't want to fucking invade Saudi Arabia. That's crazy. But what I do want to do is stop depending on their oil. Let's depend on our own resources to get energy. And let's just have a neutral relationship to a country that, let's face it, most of them fucking hate us anyway. So I don't know why that's not the proper approach here. And I don't know why, you know, the media isn't flipping out about this, and why the politicians aren't flipping out about this. Well, I do know why. I just answered my own question before. It's because they're our oil butt buddy. But I love how we're just totally denying the kind of government that they are and the kind of ideology that they represent. I mean, this is as extreme an ideology as you could ever get. And they're going to have nukes. And are we really all that certain that that government is going to be stable in the long run? Are we really that certain that there's not going to be something that happens in Saudi Arabia that's somewhat akin to what happened in Libya? In the sense that there's general unrest and there's a slower uprising that eventually boils to a tipping point and some action needs to be taken? Are we really going to trust the leaders that come out of Saudi Arabia in 100 years from now? You know, do we know what that leader's going to look like? Can we be sure? I mean, for a long time, we had this model in the Middle East of, like, the secular dictators who are in control. And how did that work out? Gaddafi was a fucking crazy person who was overthrown, and he probably should have been overthrown because of how much he was robbing his people and how crazy of an asshole he was, right? But then who replaces him? You find the same thing. Okay, so you topple Mubarak, the dictator in Egypt. Who replaces him? Briefly, it was the Muslim Brotherhood and Mohammed Morsi. Now it's General Sisi. How do we know what's going to happen after Sisi? I mean, these are all very concerning, very scary things, especially when you're dealing with a nation where there's a really, really high percentage of pure fundamentalist belief that in many ways is totally detached from reality. You know, the argument's always made like, okay, with the Soviet Union and the nuclear arms race, at least we were dealing with a rational actor. They were communists that didn't believe in an afterlife. They were largely atheistic. So they had reason to want to preserve everything on this earth. So there was mutually assured destruction kept us from destroying each other. But the concern is that, especially when you're dealing with a government like the Saudi government, some of the people there are so fucking gone from this earth, and they believe their ideology and their religion so much, and they're true fundamentalists, that if they get the reins of power and they have nuclear weapons, who the fuck knows what they'll do with them? People are more afraid of Iran possibly attacking Israel, for example, I would be more concerned of Saudi Arabia attacking Israel. Absolutely. Again, I know the Iranian government, they're not, it's not like they're good guys. There's no doubt about that. But you do have some moderating influences in the Iranian government with people like Hassan Rouhani. People don't realize that the population of Iran, in many ways, is actually pretty goddamn secular. Okay? But when you talk about Saudi Arabia, I mean, they embrace Wahhabism like nothing we've ever seen before. We're talking fucking beheadings all over the place for sorcery, witchcraft, atheism, apostasy. This is the country that they're going to get nukes. What? We didn't see it. We didn't hear anything. Go ahead. No problem with that. But meanwhile, we fearmonger to no end about Iran getting nukes. And the part that pisses me off the most about this is, in the Saudi government, they're not fucking paying attention to what's going on with the Iran deal. Because in the Iran deal, it's not like they're getting nuclear weapons. So therefore, Saudi Arabia feels like we need the nuclear weapons too, because they're the Shias, we're the Sunnis, we need to protect ourselves from them. That's not what's going on here. The Iran deal was specifically to make sure that they don't get nuclear weapons, and they're not gonna get nuclear weapons, and that's what the deal laid out. It was a fantastic deal. But now Saudi Arabia is using that as reason to get their own nukes. They're using the fact that Iran is not gonna get nukes to justify themselves getting nukes. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. We can't have that, man. Even with a country like Turkey, which is fairly secular, you got a guy like Erdogan, who now leads Turkey, and Erdogan is in his own right a fundamentalist lunatic. Okay? I don't want that guy having weapons like that, and I get it, man. What? Like, oh, what, Kyle? Do you trust America with those weapons? Fuck no, I don't. But the point is, I don't want to add to the wrongness. It's already bad enough that we have them. It's already bad enough that we use them on civilians in a hideous way. But why would we add to the lunacy, and why would we add to it specifically with a government like Saudi Arabia, where it's noted that they're out of their fucking minds? So if people are flipping out about Iran, wrong country to flip out about, man. The one you should really fear is Saudi Arabia. Them with nukes is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard.